Hello lovely people! Today we're going to be talking about how my baby has been using the potty since 8 months old. I know, kind of shocking. We're going to be talking all about it today. How did I potty train an 8-month-old? Good question. Well, you're going to be hearing all about it. First thing, I didn't actually really train him. We actually very much were led by him, and we used a form of elimination communication, which we came through our readings on Montessori, which we'll cover in the video. And this video is sponsored by KiwiCo, who I'm very excited to tell you more about later. They make really exciting educational materials for children. What's really interesting is that in exactly the same month that Rupert started using the potty, Catherine Ryan, who's a celebrity here in the UK, came out to say that her 8-month-old also uses the potty. She actually faced a bit of backlash for saying that, partly because people felt like she was maybe pushing it on her child, and I can very much assure you this is not something we pushed on Rupert. It was very much driven by him, and also because people felt like she was saying that everyone should be doing this. And of course, for many people, it's not possible to be able to potty train a child so young. Rupert is of course incredibly lucky in that he has both of his parents at home with him a lot of the time, and we're able to pick up on his cues, plus he is able to sign to us because we use sign language at home with him and around him. So he picks up on that and he's able to tell us when he needs to go to the toilet. We should also note that all children have different ages at which they start being able to control their functions. He was just a very early starter in being able to control himself in that way. And that's a great place to start. So let's go from the very beginning. So first off, we didn't actually set out to do elimination communication. What is elimination communication? Oh my God, if you say that too many times, is essentially having your child use a toilet or a potty from the very beginning and doing that through communicating with them. So learning their cues and having them communicate with you that they need to go to the toilet. It is something that is done in many countries where disposable nappies or even non-disposable nappies just aren't available. It aligns quite well with our Montessori philosophy of parenting. Montessori, if you don't know, there's a video up here about what Montessori is, but essentially it's very much that we involve our child in everything. So when we are dressing him, for instance, rather than we are doing something to him, we're doing something with him. We're holding open the leg hole for him to put his leg through. We're helping him learn to be able to do things to his maximum ability so that he can then pull up his own trousers as soon as he can. And to jump ahead, now at 9 months old, he pulls up his own pull-ups when you tell him to. Get him ready. So I didn't set out initially thinking, yes, elimination communication, that's definitely gonna be something I'm going to do, but we did use a lot of language around nappies. So for the first 2 weeks, even though he was basically asleep, we would come over, we would tell him we're going to do a change, we're going to go upstairs, we can pick him up. So pick up, come pick you up, take you upstairs. As we were doing it, I tell him which room we were passing through, use a lot of language, remind him again and again, we're going upstairs to do a change, put him down his changing table, you're on your changing table now. And I'd, obviously when he's not in my arms, sign to him as well. So we're doing a change, taking clothes off, undress, undress, undress. Here I am. And then we did a whole routine. So we had the whole routine and it was very clear, every single nappy change, we go, we're going to do nappy, nappy, nappy change. And then go ready, first tab, second tab, third, we'd open the front. Every single nappy change we did this. And then explain to him whatever was inside his nappy. Was it wee-wee? Was it poo-poo? Explain. Tell him what it was. Tell him what we were doing as we were doing it. And we did this for months and months and months and months and months. Eventually, I think at around 4 months, he started, 12 weeks was the very first time that he signed change back. But it was a mimic sign. So in the same way that babies will make a noise back to you, when you make like a buh, and they go buh. If you sign something, they can sometimes just sign it back, but it doesn't mean something. 4 months, he'd kind of started to get it a bit more. He was like, right, yeah, okay. 4 months, we started to notice that we'd say change, we would take him to go and do a change, we do the whole routine, nappy, change, right, first time, second time, throw we up in the front, and then we'd say, oh look, there's a wee-wee in your nappy, and he would wee, and we're like, oh, okay, right, okay. And obviously as he's doing it, you say it again, wee wee, wee wee. Obviously whenever we'd seen him do anything, we would also have said, wee wee, poo poo. Got to reinforce it. And it became quite obvious as we went along. During the following month, he was starting to hold it in. And he was waiting until we took him for a change. So we realized that we had to be a bit more proactive in taking him for changes. But bearing in mind at this point, he was still really quite small, and I was like, I can't get a potty, or I can't put him on the toilet. And that's when I started to really look up elimination communication, because I'd sort of stumbled into it. I don't know what to do with this tiny baby who clearly only wants to go to the toilet, not in his nappy. When he started solid foods, 5-6 months, he developed a bit of an issue because he has a cow's milk protein allergy. He found going to the toilet was a real difficulty. It became especially hard for him to go in his nappy, I think because he was mainly in positions that weren't helpful, conducive to going to the lavatory. If you've ever tried to go to the toilet lying down for a number 2, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So I bought him a potty when he was 6 months. We put him on it once, and he was so small that his little bottom just sunk in. And he was like, ah, I can't, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So we created a very strange system of simply hovering the child over a nappy, or the toilet, which we now know is actually what you do with elimination communication. And of course, talking about cute tiny things, let's talk about KiwiCo. So KiwiCo is a subscription delivery service for educational materials, providing STEAM-based activity kits for kids of all ages. STEAM, by the way, is science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. The kits empower children to explore, create, and learn in really interesting ways, and also really help you as a parent just come up with things to do. He's only 9 months old, and already I'm like, goodness, how do I keep you entertained? And I've got a lot of years ahead of me. KiwiCo's Panda Crate was designed in partnership with Seattle Children's Hospital, specifically for infants and toddlers aged 0 to 24 months. The Panda Crates arrive every other month, and each containing 2 months worth of products and information. They're designed specifically for that 2-month stage of your baby's development. You can see them through that time period just really develop the interest within things that are in the crate. We were drawn to the crates because they are actually Montessori inspired, promoting self-directed activity and collaborative play. Rupert's current favourite toy from the crates is the cart because he loves to pull his animals around. He loves them. And it provides a really great opportunity for us to have a conversation with him around animals, and we can use different sign language and sounds, and that's what this crate is all about. Just click the link in the description below to get 30% off your first month at KiwiCo. These crates are a great gift. Also for anyone expecting a baby, like my best friend / editor Clara. And then finally when he was 8 months old, I started to think, he's probably old enough, He wasn't going to fall over or anything, felt very confident that he would be fine. And I just thought, let's bring out the potty again, let's just see. I had no expectations. I just read a little paragraph in one of my Montessori parenting books, talked about toilet orientation, which was just making your child aware. It had just been there, and obviously he'd seen it, and it's kept next to where we go to the toilet, and he's seen us go to the toilet. Hello, all parents, I'm sure you've all had to deal with this. When you have to go, you just pop the baby on the floor. They see things. They generally have intense eye contact with you. It is what it is. And I just thought, I'll just pop him on in between. So took the nappy off, popped him on, just thought I'll see what happens. I said wee wee as I normally do, and he just went very happily. And I thought maybe this is just a fluke, maybe this is a one-off. We'll. And then the next time that he asked for a change, definitely need a change, okay? So yeah, wee wee, okay, fine, take him. So I took him took it off, put him on the potty, and he went again. I was like, and then we did a little dance and got a bit excited because I'd never seen this child like not struggle with like going to the toilet for number 2. It was just a really lovely thing as well, just to see how liberating it was for him, which is, side note, a wonderful thing about potties because you're in the optimum position, you've got your feet on the ground. I mean, he doesn't have his feet on the ground because he's too low, because he's too tiny, so we prop up his feet. And it's also really lovely for us as parents because there's a lot less cleanup. So the whole way through we've been using these really wonderful biodegradable disposable nappies from Mama Bamboo. Now we've been using the regular sort of nappies with the tabs until he started going to the potty, rejected those because he can undo the tabs and started undoing them. And also he just moves around a lot more, so it didn't like having quite a firm waistband. So pull-ups. They do pull-ups in like his tiny size 4. And he gets through about like 2 of them a day. He does go in his nappy when he has to. Yeah, if we're in the car or in the park and we're like, no, we're not gonna pull your potty out because it's freezing cold. However, we do have a little potty that we take around with us. So if we're in a shop or something and there's a toilet, we'll take him to the toilet. And instead of going to the baby change table, we sit on his tiny potty. It's great fun. Sometimes I have to do it in a hallway on a tiny potty as I go, wee wee, wee wee. And he's there like, another good thing with the pull-ups is that it also gives him a little sense of autonomy because he can help with pulling them up and down. But yes, they do stay relatively dry. We don't actually get through as many of these. We also have tiny pants. They're the cutest thing. I know. Now apparently, according to the manufacturer's instructions, these pants are made for 18 months to 24 months, which is bizarrely wrong. They very well fit my 9-month-old. And he wears these at home so that he can get a bit more used to the feeling of what happens if you go. And it's also nicer because he doesn't need to have all this around him and kind of stopping him from moving. Let's do a little rundown of the pros of a baby using a potty. For the parents, less cleanup time, less fuss, less buying of nappies or washing of nappies, less waste on the planet. For the baby, not so much nappy rash if you've got sensitive skin, not having to sit in your own pee or poo. A sense of achievement. Just an all-round happy, healthy baby, really. From doing sign language, there's something that he sort of lights up within him when you recognize his cue. So if he's asking for a change and you respond with, you want to change? And you can really see that he's like, yes, I did it right. And he's just so proud of himself. A really lovely thing to witness. Having said that, now that he's been using the potty for a bit over 6 weeks and he is very good at it and he knows when he needs to go. He's quite clear about that. If we are not paying attention to him and not looking at him when he's trying to tell us that he needs to go, he will be very vocal about that. But he's also helping with his language because he's learning the word poo, which is great. He loves to go puh. So for anyone who's wanting to try this, I would say don't be nervous. You'd be amazed how much babies are actually capable of and how much they learn just from watching us. They've seen us go to the loo, they know what it's for. Every child has their own timeline and they all develop at different stages. And so obviously this is not going to be the right thing for every child, and it won't be the right thing for every family either, because we all have very different family setups and situations, and it does require a lot of intensive time from parents and caregivers. I obviously can't say whether with our future babies this is something that work for them, will happen for them. I will definitely use exactly the same language, the same pattern, we'll do our same routine of nappy change, and first tab, second tab, third you open the front, explain what's inside. We will be very mindful to follow their lead and see how they develop individually. I am not expecting them to follow Rupert's milestones exactly at all. So there you go. Really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've taken something from it. I would love to know anyone else's similar stories. So please let me know in the comments down below if you have also potty trained a baby young, but also if you didn't, because hey, I wasn't potty trained young because I have disabilities and I struggled with that, and that's okay. And thank you to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. Just click the link in the description below. Go to kiwico.com/Jessica30, 30% off your first box. Thank you for watching. Bye.